Welcome back to THV in your town in Warren. We're away from downtown, and we're actually at my grandmother's house. She died when she was 91, but her house still remains, and this is my favorite part of the whole house. This is the front porch. In the late 50s, I would come down here and stay all summer long, and on hot summer nights, we'd come out on the front porch, and all of Warren would come by and get on this front porch, sitting under the ceiling fan, trying to stay cool. We would visit, we'd tell stories, there'd be laughter and games. Until 1960, and she got a window air conditioner, so we moved into the living room to stay cool. She would get other air conditioners too, so we'd move to the back of the house. Hardly anyone came over at that point, and then Monroe, Louisiana television station learned to boost their power inexpensively, so she got a TV. So we watched TV. Hardly anyone came over. Then when my grandmother got central heat and air, we went to other rooms. She bought other TVs, and then she got cable. So even the family wasn't together. No one's coming over. The family's not even in the same room. Everybody's dispersed. So what's the point? With every development of technology, we become divided from ourselves and from each other. We get so distracted. So what am I suggesting? That we throw away the air conditioner, the smartphones, the TV? Oh, no, no, no. We need this technology. We've come to rely on it. But what I am suggesting is that we stay on the front porch, using this as a symbol. And the best way to do that is to volunteer in your community, to bring it together, to stay on the front porch and stay connected. That's what this porch symbolizes to me, and that is the very foundation of THV in your town.
Tiana has a very important question for us this morning. What is it, Tiana?
Who's Tom?
One of the most impressive things that I've ever seen you do is talk politics.
Loved
folks
it.
around you.
Loved it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry we can't
get into it.
Well, see,
but,
here, that's
yeah.
the thing. And I love to get into it because politics is the process of governing.
Yeah.
Politics should be an analysis, an observational, stand back analysis of performance, not this personal vendetta, not revenge.
Right.
And people are taking it so personally now that, no, don't talk politics. I love talking politics. Love it. Can't go near it, but love it. And where we get into problems, here we go.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
You got the soapbox. Where we get into problems with politics is when you start blaming. Blame is the ego's foot soldier. Blame is boosting yourself while blaming others, putting it on their shoulders. It also blocks all creativity and it blocks solutions. So there, when you blame, that's when we get into trouble. We reached out to UALR for two politically active college students representing the left and the right. We talked with them individually and then together using a scientifically proven selection method. Sophomore Owen Haynes would go first.
I'm a Democrat. I am the president of the UA Little Rock Young Democrats.
He admits to getting political news from Twitter only if it's a reliable source and doesn't hesitate giving us the politician he admires most.
Joyce Elliott, she does not give up on anything. She is such a strong fighter for everything she believes in.
His feet are firmly planted in Democratic soil, especially when it comes to issues like abortion.
If it's a moral decision, that should be left up to the person, not the government.
Then we met with Logan Mosley,
chairman of the College Republicans at UALR. This is my first term.
He gets his political news from Fox, and his role model is also an Arkansan.
So my first campaign that I volunteered for was Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Having the chance to watch her, the way she, dealt with the news media and all the other factors too, it really inspired me.
And the biggest issue that separates him from the left?
There's the pro-life stance that I have.
Their boundaries established, we brought them together. Initially, they struggled with issues that could unite until we got on the subject of the devastation in Florida.
Both the governor Ron DeSantis and President Biden actually agreed on some things.
When events like this happen, like natural disasters in Florida, the political games kind of go away.
At least they're there to meet the needs of the people.
It's necessary to see both sides working together because it'd just be a massive waste of time if they didn't. So I think it's a great thing.
The ultimate question, can the country ever come back together? Owen, the Democrat, invoked climate.
Our world and nation as a whole is headed towards a future where unity might be the only option.
And Logan, the Republican, brought out a concept he'd learned in the classroom, the 4 horsemen of polarization.
Stereotyping, ridiculing, dismissing, contempt. We see all 4 of those in society right now. And if we knock one down by each other on the list, I mean, we can become a unified country.
And then, watch what happened when I asked what advice they would give to lower the political temperature.
If you just look at the big stuff, it's easy to find differences. But if you look at the little stuff, it's hard to disagree about where you're going to plant a tree, you know what I mean?
The only way we can come together as one is to start small and then get bigger.
Don't look now, but I think we just found common ground.
You ever think about teaching college?
I think about being a preacher, but I still wouldn't be welcome in a church. Actually, I have been to a church.
You have been.
I've done personal testimony in a church.
But you've also
once.
You've married people before. You have served.
Yes,
as-
I've done 14 marriages.
Are they still together?
10 of them are.
You keeping count of them. Good
Call
for
them
you.
every week. Y'all still together?
Yeah.
How you doing over there?
In your radio career, what would you say people approach and ask you more about when they remember
Pranks.
you on the pranks?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Last night, our boy that marks the field on the AstroTurf,
Yes, sir.
the sun was going down, it was getting real dark, and naturally we don't want to have to turn the lights on to mark the field, and his deadline was last night, and so it was dark, and he didn't realize what he was doing, and he was putting y'all's name in our south end zone, and he added an extra S.
I beg your pardon.
He put an extra S on your name.
How do you mean that?
Well,
what do you mean? Extra?
Well, what I mean is it's TEXASS, and we don't have enough time to take that off. And I just want to know how we ought to handle this. That's why I want to talk to Coach McWilliams or Mr. Dodd.
Why, I think he's going to tell you the same thing I am. I think you need to get the S off of there.
Well, there's no way we can do it, sir, because it's just too involved. I don't know what to do about this.
Well, you just got. I don't know that I've ever encountered anything quite like this.
See, if y'all run out on the field, it's going to say
Yeah.
Texas. So
This is a joke, right?
no, sir. This has really happened here.
Son, see if you can find the coach. See if you can find him right now. Right now, go get him.
Are you?
I think if we can't get that off, and your name was McElroy,
Yeah, Gilbert McElroy.
Mr. McElroy, if you can't straighten this off, I think we've got a serious problem here.
Well, now one thing we can do is put 2 lines down the middle of S and make it look like a dollar sign. What do you think of that?
I guess anything's better than nothing, but I think that's a pretty poor solution to this problem.
We're going to make the S into a B. You following this?
Not very well, sir.
All right, and a 98.5.
What B 98.5?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't understand that, sir.
Yes, sir.
What good will that do?
Well, that's my radio station, Mr. Walker.
Is this a disc jockey?
Not only a disc jockey, Mr. Walker. This is Craig O'Neill of B98.5 in Little Rock, Arkansas. You've just been a star of Candid Radio. Suey!
Well, you had me good. There are no 2 S's on Texas.
No, but you've just had your S all over the phone.
Don't take this wrong, but for 24 years at Channel 11, I got up, I hit those deadlines, I interviewed the people, I wrote the stories, I've gotten the Emmys, I've gotten the awards and done the stories. I guess I did at least 600 stories on Channel 11, and you'd be out in the store or you'd be at an event and people would come up and go, man, I loved it when you did those pranks.
Yeah.
You know, no one ever talked about anything
One
I did
prank-
on Channel 11, except for Who Let the Hogs Out.
Sports is fun again with Craig O'Neill on today's THV.
Now, I played a prank on you back in the sports days. I think you remember this.
Yeah.
Arkansas went down to Austin to play Texas.
Oh, here we go.
No, if you'd like to share the story, I called
No,
the
you
hotel.
tell. I've been talking too much.
Listen, I called the hotel.
Wait, I'm
Well,
the
with
guest.
people-
I ought to talk.
You ought to talk. People want to
Yeah.
hear more about than me. Called the hotel. I remember the hotel. But you went down and we told Wes what was happening. And I said, hey, he's our sports director, huge Hog fan. I want you to Texas
And hates
up,
Texas.
and I want you to Texas up his room that he's staying in. And we got the response.
And
Put it
you
on the
all,
camera.
you need to know, the camera's rolling, and I'm wondering why Wes has got the camera rolling while I'm checking into the room, and then I saw it. And there, I mean, those guys, I don't know what you told them. I don't know if you paid them extra or you're going to tip them, because they had Texas stuff everywhere. And it was icky, funny. You ever been in a situation that's icky, funny? This was hilarious.
That's great.
By the way, that was brilliant.
thank you so
I've
much.
never shaken your hand over that.
you've
As a
done it for me.
prankster,
Hey, I've been known to play a couple in the past.
oh, hun, you are, I mean, you're there. You go to more detail than I did. I just would primarily do the voice, but you just,
You pick up the phone and call somebody,
yeah,
unsuspecting.
that's about it. But no,
but
you're
you
getting
played well.
Texas stuff and
Yeah,
all the other stuff you've done.
But I learned from the
He
best.
gets his own show.
I learned from you, right?
Yeah, right. Shut
Yeah.
up, Tom.
Yeah. That's great.
Definitely feeling more like November today. That's definitely feeling more like November today. Excuse me, folks. Hey. Yeah, we're on. Oh, what are you doing? What are you... Thank you, Craig. It was nice of you to show up.
Bad time?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay,
A little bit of a bad time. I'm just doing the weather.
Okay. Well, it was
But no, but don't go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
No, because let me go do the weather and I'll let you continue.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget over there and back over there.
problem.
And back over. Let's take a look at the radar, shall we?
You ever
Yeah.
have those moments? I shouldn't have done that. That was just,
You're talking about my career. You're talking about every day.
well, no.
I probably shouldn't have said,
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have said, shut up, Tom.
No. You can if you'd like to do that. But you have those moments of consciousness over the years.
golly.
It's not going to go over well.
No. Bombed, just terrible bombs.
I can't imagine you bombing.
Oh, yeah, bad. Early in career, emceed the Arkansas Songwriters Association Awards. Come out with a funny skit in which I'm going to do the unlikely medley of Feelings, What's New, Pussycat,
Oh, gosh.
and
What a combo.
what was the third one? Anyway, there was a third song. And I break into this Steve Martin type, Robin Williams type medley of these three songs together, which of course don't go together, obviously. And crickets. Nothing. I mean, nothing. Come to find out, most of the audience was there because of gospel music.
Oh, okay.
They wrote gospel. And some clown standing up there doing a stupid medley, that's just not working. So,
So what you're saying is you've had those moments where
Oh.
things didn't work.
oh,
But then you have those moments where they just,
Slay, yeah. And my favorite might have been the roast of John Tyson
yeah.
for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Arkansas, in which I had him do the chicken dance.
Oh, there you
The
go.
late John Tyson got up there and did the chicken dance, and I had him do it. crowd went nuts.
I would say that in terms of personality, celebrities, people you meet on the street, hey, you're so and so, you're a television celebrity. No, no, I only know one celebrity from Arkansas. That's you. Seriously, no. I think the rest of us were personalities, but you.
Because I wanted to be, I was needy.
But you have this uncanny ability. You just with everybody. I mean, it just
yeah.
Craig O'Neill.
Never met a stranger.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone.
And let me tell you something, y'all. I thought I was pretty much the mold for the person who never met a stranger, until I met 2 weeks ago John Calipari.
Yeah.
The basketball coach at the University of Arkansas. Oh my gosh, you talking about a man that can work a room. And we had to call him over because we're starting the dinner. I'm the MC. And the only reason I MC because I wanted to meet him, because I'm off of that now. But we had to call him over because he's working the room. He's so involved in conversations with people and meeting them. And I'd been told he was like that. And when I witnessed it, I went, wow. Well, I ain't no John Calipari.
Can you still believe he's our coach?
Oh.
I mean, John Calipari is our...
I know. And that was one of my lines that day. I said, our guest tonight, or a guest today, is a man that for most of his adult life I've hated.
Oh, yeah.
And
used
we
to play
did.
Nolan Richardson, UMass used to beat us, Memphis, and Kentucky. He's like, oh, I just don't like him. And then he's our coach. It's kind of hard to pull that emotion to, I like this guy.
Yeah, I do now.
But we do.
I really do. And I think the numbers are growing.
I do too.
Because he's got the Arkansas mindset, but of course he's not Arkansas, but he just can work a room better than any coach I've ever seen. And Houston Nutt was good, but he ain't no John Calipari. Bill Clinton's good, but he ain't no John Calipari.
Is Clinton a good narrator?
No. If you ever get an audio book, Bill Clinton's going to be doing it. Keep in mind, his book, My Life, is that thick, and he narrates the whole thing. And now in chapter 2. And if you make it to chapter 2 without falling asleep.
Not a good book to listen to while in the car, while driving.
No. Oh, no. It's a hazard.
Speaking of books.
Here we go.
Somewhere along the way, you're not emceeing as many events anymore, but you somehow became this guy that all of a sudden loved reading to children.
Well, it wasn't all of a sudden.
I mean, you've been doing this for years then.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems to me
that
it's within the past few years.
What happened was, I've been doing it since day one, since 1978. I've been going to schools, but not on a regular, just when they would call. Could you come to, it's career day.
Yeah.
Could you come please and talk about your career? Thank you. So I would. Well, the library, the children's library, one year in 2013, I came and read a book during the summer, and as I'm walking out, their programmer said, you know, your voice, you should do the Grinch.
Okay.
And I went, huh. And I started singing, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch." And the next year, makeup, the costume, beginning in 2014, did the Grinch. In 2017 or 2016, they added a show, a packed place. It was a big event for the Children's Theater for about 6 years. And I got more out, after that was over, I got more out of that. And to the point where in 2018 I announced I'm backing away from the galas and all the MC work. Yeah. I'm just going to read to schools. That and Arkansas's literacy rate for kids reading at grade level is at 39%, and it's been that way for over 20 years. 39% of Arkansas's children are reading at grade level. That's not good, y'all. So my whole message to them is just the love and the joy of books. And so that's why I devoted the last, eighth of my career to reading, exclusively reading to kids. And in retirement I was doing it. I've had to back away because I got family I got to concentrate on right now. We've got things we've got to get done. So, but
So you've backed off, but you still
Still
go
love
out.
it. Still love it. And congratulations to Jefferson Elementary. I
Yeah.
was there recently, and they celebrated their anniversary, their 75th anniversary, and I'm up there emceeing, and I said, and we read the history of it. 2 weeks into November, on that second Monday in November, Jefferson Elementary in Kamak Village opened its doors. 75 years later, we celebrate today, and I suddenly went, that was 3 weeks after I was born.
Dang.
It's as old as me, and they're celebrating the 75th anniversary.
And by
Oh
the
my
way,
God.
happy 75th anniversary.
Well, I didn't say anything then. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
about
yeah.
my knees buckled. Whoa.
Yeah.
Happens a lot when you're 75.
So you stepped away. You've remained busy. Since
Doing my own yard work now.
Are you?
Yeah.
How's that working out for you?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
My yard is a shambles. I hope Ed Buckner, the late Ed Buckner, who did his own yard work, heard that, because he did it too. But yeah, and I'm driving my wife wherever she needs to go. She doesn't like to drive alone that much anymore. She will, but and then I'm also my grandfather's name is Dadu. I wanted it to be Doodah. I thought that was clever. I wanted my grandchildren, I have 2 of them, to call me Doodah. You know, like Camptown ladies sing this song, Doodah, Doodah. But we had a vowel movement when they were little, and it came out Dadu.
Okay.
So now I'm Daduber,
Oh yeah.
and I drive them everywhere.
Well, you have to have something.
Well, the oldest one has her own car now, so it's the youngest one.
Yeah.
So
Okay. You mentioned 75th anniversary of Jefferson. You know, it's THV 11's 70th anniversary this year.
wow, I think that means I was 5 years old when I first watched Channel 11.
Yeah. Who do you remember over the years watching from Channel 11?
Oh, I can remember everybody on
We'll name them. Let's do it.
George, I can still remember George Moore. That's the news by George Moore. And they had a sports guy named Benny Craig who worked for the bakery. He delivered bread by day and did the sports by night on Channel 11 back in the 50s. Channel 11's ratings in the 50s. That's the news by George. And now the sports with Benny Craig. And Benny Craig would wear the uniform that he delivered bread with or in. Their ratings were through the roof. That's what we should have done, Tom. We should have had on uniforms.
Bread uniforms?
And sounded like we were in the 50s, and our ratings would have gone through the roof. Forget Channel 7.
Yeah.
So
Well, in the other channels as well.
you only need one.
No, you had a good run. I mean, think about who you got to work with Ann Jansen and Don Skilling and Buckner, Denise Middleton. Who else? Did you
We, of course, Liz Massey.
I can't forget Liz.
Oh, yeah. And
Liz Massey was instrumental in one of the biggest coups out there with the summer cereal drive, where it was mornings versus
yeah. Oh, you haven't
evenings.
forgotten it, have you?
No.
Well,
And
this is going to take a while. Here we
I
go.
wanted to bring this up because Liz Massey was a powerhouse
Here we go.
in cereal. And when I had Robin Richardson, I had B.J. Sams. We were the originators of the
Yeah,
summer
but you didn't have no Liz Massey.
I didn't have Liz Massey. And Liz Massey, toward the latter part of the cereal drive, I don't remember what year it was.
Whoops.
So do we need to get that? We can.
Whoops.
Oh, it's Jane. Say hi to Jane.
My wife, Jane.
We
Sorry, I
can-
should have turned this off.
No,
Go ahead.
You need to answer it. Go ahead.
You were in the middle of telling the story.
Okay. Well, all right. So Liz, we're neck and neck, mornings versus evenings, and Liz arranges for this huge pallet of cereal, to our surprise, and it put the evenings over the top, and they beat us. Yeah. But let me say this:
There was a parade. There was a celebration. Balloons.
right. But I will say that I learned a very valuable lesson, thanks to Mr. B.J. Sams, because it became heated, and we were
Oh,
going
it was tore the station apart.
Seriously, it kind of did.
You don't talk politics. You didn't talk cereal.
No. But the one thing that it did was it helped me refocus as to why we did it.
Yeah.
The competitive. Yeah, we were competitive. Anybody in this industry, in this business, is a little competitive. I mean, you're a little competitive.
Tad.
A lot. But it's okay. But when you start doing something like that for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
it overshadows the reason why you should be doing it to begin with. And B.J. Sams sat Robin and I down and said, you need to think about the reason why you're doing this. And from then on, it was, I know why I'm doing this.
For the record, I was in awe of Liz, and she just took, she took it personally. And man, she got on the phone. She worked those phones. The people that sold her a bass boat, she worked that phone. Said, we bought those bass boats from you. Can you give us a big donation for and they filled a couple of bass boats with cereal.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
Liz also introduced us to the Knight's grocery family in Cabot, and they were big back in the 2000s. Okay, while we're talking cereal drive, you had a brilliant idea one summer. and summer
Here's what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
We started this thing called Hero Central on Channel 11.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think this is 2009 or 10, somewhere in there. And to observe that, we're going to take the cereal that's donated and use the boxes to spell hero on the War Memorial Stadium turf. It would be just a wonderful representation of how much cereal was donated, how much fun it would be, just add a little twist. Well, that year, the hottest days of the summer were the 2 days that we're putting boxes out on the turf at War Memorial Stadium. And then, on top of everything, the second day, with all that cereal out there, it rains.
The only shower in Arkansas that day was over Little Rock. Was over us.
The cereal was pre-soaked.
Yeah.
I guess it was still good. I don't know. They're in those bags, but oh my gosh.
With a little rain and the wind, it stirred up all the letters.
Can't believe you haven't done that again. Actually, you did do it again.
We did it at Jack Stevens Center 2 years, and we were invited not to come back because we scratched up their floor and basketball court. But we did it. We continued. And it was manageable. It was cooler.
So you scratched up the floor, and I barely survived. Oh, man, you're watching a show with two underachievers, folks, who are a detriment to their society.
All the while, I owe a lot to you.
Really? Oh, I owe a lot to you.
Thank you.
You kept me going in my latter years.
Well, you find these people that you know mean a lot to the community, that mean a lot to you, that mentor. Although you weren't as hands-on as some are, it's by actions and by what you do and what you've done in the community, for the community, how you do it. And I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much for my career.
Oh,
and thank
stop
you.
it.
Thank you for being my friend.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. And this will carry on after the camera. I know you're probably getting sick right now, but that's okay.
All right, that's it. We're out.
Let's go.
The following is a Today's THV special presentation.
Autograph pictures, free autographs. Get your autograph pictures.
He needs work.
Tiana has a very important question for us this morning. What is it, Tiana?
Who's Tom?
This is a bit intimidating because I'm interviewing a guy that can interview anyone. Right? Welcome to this edition of The Tom Show. Ooh. Our very first guest of The Tom Show was supposed to be Craig O'Neill.
But
and I'm so sorry.
No, he
got beat out by BJ.
That's right. He had children's books to read, so forget it.
Oh, I know it. And you've got the shirt and everything to prove it. As you well know, Craig O'Neill, broadcast icon here in Arkansas, over 75 years in broadcasting. Or maybe
Wait a
close.
minute.
You're 75 years old.
Wait a minute. You're adding 25 years to. That means I was broadcasting right out of the womb.
Well, you were.
WOMB. Hey, that's pretty good, wasn't it?
It is good.
I like that. That's just a taste of what you're going to get in the next few minutes.
So we're going to visit with Craig today, catching up with him. He retired almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, boy.
Did not beat B.J. Sams. B.J. retired at 74. You retired at 73. I encourage you to stay a
Okay,
little
all
bit
right,
longer, but you
rub it
wouldn't do
in.
that.
Rub it in, and they named the studio after BJ.
Oh,
BJ works longer than me. I'm sick of this second place-itis.
We have good news for Craig, though. His dream is coming true. We've been told that the ladies' urinals will be deemed the Craig O'Neill urinals. Here, you've got the B.J. Sam studio.
man.
No, in all seriousness, though, I do want to thank the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, this is great.
The Stella Boyd Smith.
Boyle.
Boyle.
Like boiling water.
Boyle.
Stella Boyle
Huh?
Smith.
Boyle Smith.
And I'll make sure you get it right, because I'm probably the only person in this building who knew her. I was her paper boy beginning in 1965, actually. And actually, when I became a DJ, we roasted Stella Boyle Smith, and now you see her name attached to so many things, so many projects, but her name with this building, Tom, is magic. If you knew how long the symphony has wanted something like this, and not many cities have anything like this or close to this, because symphonies in cities they're a prayer. The Arkansas Symphony Orchestra is a fixture. It is the best kept secret. They're so much better than the Razorbacks because their players are better. But anyway, boom!
Stella
Boyle Smith.
Well, this is a great facility. I love it. We're inside the Pat Becker Wallace Broadcast Studio.
Everybody's got a name. You got a room, got a name, got a sponsor.
We got a piano.
Ooh.
We do.
You should do that on this show.
What's that?
Get sponsored. Everything's sponsored.
Would you sponsor this?
I would, if I had the money, yeah.
Yeah.
But
well,
nope.
to talk about a little bit about that here.
Money?
You retire. Yeah, sponsorships.
This
and
will
money.
be shortchanging you.
You stepped away from television after being with THV11 for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. You spent 30 plus.
25.
Yeah. We're 25?
Well, it's 24. We have to do the math. 31 television, 31 radio, 24 television, 55 years in broadcasting. That is a lot of words, folks. If BS was gold, I'd be Sam Walton.
I don't know what to do with that, to be honest with you. Let's just...
and this show's adding to it.
Right. And this is why this is one of the most intimidating interviews that I ever do. Because not only do I have high regard for this man who's raised millions of dollars for nonprofits.
Over 40 million, Tom.
You've got an account.
It's an estimate.
It's an estimate.
Sure, I'd inflated it, but let's go with it.
But it's obvious the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra means a lot to you, as well as reading.
And the Symphony Orchestra, quick note, I dropped away from all galas, gave them up.
You did?
Yeah, well, because I wanted to go read to kids. There's only one gala that I still go to, the Opus Ball for the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra. It means that much to our family.
Now, do you still host it? Do you MC?
I don't exactly host it. Another THV11 personality has hosted that, Ann Jansen. I'm the auctioneer. That's my duty.
And this is why they raise a lot of money, and I'm not kidding, because you get a crowd energized, and I've never seen people pull money out of their pockets faster when you get involved with an auction.
I kind of tend to, how can I put it? I kind of tend to put people on the spot. If I see them and I know them and they got a lot of money, come on, you're a Rockefeller. Come on. Yeah. That's all you're going to bid? You know, that type of thing.
I know it.
You've done it.
I have done it. In fact, I have benefited from some of your double bookings in the past.
Benefit is a nice word.
Yes. Well, you know, you've done countless. You've done, I'd say, hundreds, maybe thousands of these events. And I got into this business because of you and your help.
Cafe St. Moritz, ladies and gentlemen, is where it all started. You want me to tell them the story?
I want you. You're a better storyteller than I'll ever be. Please.
Okay, here we go. We'll go to the Craig Cam for the actual story. Cafe St. Moritz was in where the River Market is now. It was a French restaurant. My wife and I there back in 85, enjoying a wonderful meal together. And all of a sudden, these high school kids walk in, and they see us, and they start giggling. And Jane goes, "Don't go over there. Don't go over there and find out what they're giggling. Don't." I had to go over and see why they're giggling at me. Turns out that one of their classmates, they're the French They are the French club from Cabot High School, and one of their classmates on the sign-up sheet on the door, as a joke, put Craig O'Neill is going to be at the dinner. Well, here I was, and they all started giggling. And I said, well, who did that? And they go, Tom Brannon. Yep, he was in high school. I talked about it on my Monday show on the radio. Boom.
There we go.
It's Tom.
Or at that time, Tommy. Tommy
I did not know. See, I didn't know that until now.
Tommy Brannon. I dropped the MY because Tommy Brannon on the radio is hard to say. Tom Brannon is a little easier.
Now, if I know the story, I talked about it on Monday. You heard it or got?
They told me about it. That they got to meet you.
And then you came down and applied for a job, and now
There you
we
go,
sit
right.
here. We
Well,
sit.
there was a little more to it. You know, you have to light up. The program director at the time was Ron White, and I was very thankful for that opportunity.
It got you started, buddy.
Did. You got me started. I owe everything to you.
Oh, you'll see it in the movie. It's going to be a Netflix special. Sting is going to play Tom.
Oh, that'd be great. Who's going to play you? Who would you
Alec
like?
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
I don't know why. Just picking a name.
Why not Tom Hanks? He plays everybody, right? It could be you, right? Actually, for the B.J. Sams story, Tom Hanks would be a young B.J. Sams.
Ooh, that would be
fun,
good.
wouldn't it?
They kind of looked alike. Somewhat.
Somewhat, they could be. But yeah, that was the start of my career. I got to work in radio alongside you for a little while, and got to work in production, radio and television production before getting into TV. You and I have worked together 3 times because I left in 2017, and when I came back to evenings, you were still there.
I love working with you when you
It was
came
so
back.
much
I
fun.
was so glad. I mean, I loved the late Ed Buckner. We were brothers. But Tom, when Tom came back, it was like a family reunion. You know?
Well, it was. And Ed had a lot to do with you coming on board from
Yeah.
B98 to THV 11 back in 2000.
Yeah, in '98, I tried to get on Channel 11. Hey, just a minute. I got to let people know who are watching this.
Yeah.
You can't repeat this story. Nobody knows this story except for you.
Okay.
Don't go out there and start talking about this, because if it comes back to me, I'm going to know you did it. But nobody knows. But when I was in radio, I tried to get onto Channel 11 in 1998 just to do something different. I wanted something different for my career.
Right.
Didn't quite work out. So a year and a half later, I'm getting my license renewed at the Revenue Department, and I'm putting the stickers on my car, and there's Ed Buckner, and we start visiting, and Ed goes, you know, you ought to try to get back on Channel 11 because we just lost the sports director, so you ought to go call management and see if you can get back on. I did.
And he did it.
I did. Here we are. The late Ed Buckner. How about that?
You've got the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You've got many more with Ed. Seriously.
We got 1 degree, but I don't know. It's a 3-degree guarantee.
we do that on occasion as well. But because of
That's
Ed,
pretty good, wasn't it?
Right.
That's pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah.
But because of Ed, Craig joined us. And again, I left, I came back. I have had the pleasure of working with you for 3 times over the past, since 1985. How many every time that was?
And now if you count this, I'd count this. I
4
count
times.
this show.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. I really do. Let's go to the beginning.
Wait a minute, just a minute. Hold on.
What?
Here's another thing. And you
Okay.
all, this can't go outside this screen. Why do you get a show? How did you get a show?
Oh yes.
Did you know for 24 years that I was at Channel 11, they dangled a carrot in front of me and said, we're going to give you your own show. I even did 3 pilots of the Craig O'Neill show. Come on, Craig, you're going to get your own show. Come on, just another year, signed contract. Come on. 24 years later, I never got a show. Tom gets a show. I'll just get up and walk off, But I'm not, because I'm a nice guy.
In my notes, I was supposed to rub that in a little bit because
you did.
I was going to say they gave me the Tom show before they gave you the Craig show, 6:30 every weeknight. I'm surprised you didn't get that show.
I am too, Tom. Now I felt bad about BJ. Now I'm really feeling bad about this. So now you've watched the change in attitude. I'm no longer enjoying this show.
Is the interview over?
No.
I don't know if you've been in an environment where somebody's had a chance to just ask you about how you began. Who inspired you? How? Why? How? You went to Arkansas State University, and at the time, you had, I guess, a great broadcast program.
They did.
But
Used to.
can you give us the story of how you got into this business?
How long's this show?
Well, this is probably going to be a 2-episode.
Oh, okay.
show,
Well,
so
I can
we
go
have
back to the
plenty of
very
time.
beginning. It's 1964,
Okay.
and I fell in love with tuna fish on white bread.
Okay.
My grandfather, who was ex-military man,
Right.
we lived with my grandparents, and my grandfather cooked, and he had a pantry, a walk-in pantry, and he had tuna fish, and he had white bread. He had shown me that that tuna fish on white bread, he had given me that for a snack one time when we went on a fishing trip, and I fell in love with it. The oil on the gushy white bread, none of that healthy stuff
No.
back in 1964, not like we got it now. Oh, but I had to wait for him to go to bed so I could sneak into the pantry door and walk-in pantry, and get the tuna fish and the white bread. He had to go to sleep because he's going to hear that door open.
Right.
Well, we're talking around 10:30 at night. But now, if you're going to get a snack, you got to have something to watch.
Sure.
So I sat down and watched The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Okay.
And he was smooth. He looked good. He had beautiful women on the show, and hormones were starting to flow in me. He was funny. He could ad-lib. He was quick. And I just thought he was fantastic. Within 2 weeks, I forgot about the tuna fish and the white bread. I wanted to be Johnny Carson. And that's how it all started.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Wow.
And he was my hero. I wanted to be Johnny Carson. And say it again. You got to say it like Johnny.
I did not know that.
Know that. I did not know. And so, and people don't know, but in 1988, they roasted me. It was a roast, and they had arranged for a phone call from Johnny Carson. There was a writer's strike in Hollywood, and Johnny Carson was not working. He had time off. He calls the roast, and I had a 10-minute conversation with Johnny Carson.
Wow.
And it was one of the highlights of my career.
But,
Man.
but I guess, to get to that point, you somehow fell in love with radio, right?
Well, that's how I was going to. My whole life was going to be I was going to copy the blueprint. The blueprint was Johnny Carson's life. I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
My life was going to be the Johnny Carson blueprint. He started in radio.
Gotcha.
He moved to local TV. He went out to California, L.A., and had an afternoon game show, and moves to the Tonight Show, succeeding Jack Parr. So that's how I was going to do it. I was going to do radio for 3 years, local TV, move out to L.A., but then kids are born. They go into school. There's carpool. There's a mortgage. There's a
bills.
wife with an art career.
Yeah.
Never went.
Yeah.
So, but
you've done well here.
well, I was going to point out that when Johnny Carson passed away, I read that there was no one with him. No one. His family was not within 200 miles of the hospital room. No friends, no acquaintances. He was a loner, and he passed away. And my thought after hearing that was, because I was listening to an audio book, was, you know, I always wanted to be Johnny Carson, but at the end, I bet he wanted to be me.
Yeah, I bet he would.
At least that's what I can think that anyway. That's a little bit grandiose, but hey.
I don't know if anybody's ever heard this story before.
Well, see, that's why it can't go off. You cannot talk about this.
Please do. I think
Awkward silence.
Yeah, please do. Talk about this amongst your friends and your relatives.
Just talk about the show. Don't talk about this story.
The progression you took, college radio,
Right.
ASU Jonesboro. What was your first
Well, it's KBTM.
Okay.
Was the commercial station in Little Rock. That's where in Jonesboro, that's where I really cut my teeth on radio, got my beginning in radio. That's where Ron Sherman began. And it was KBTM. And when you're on a small market radio station, you do everything, y'all. You write your commercials, you produce the commercials. I did sports, I did live shots. I even played a clown. at a shopping center. I was Plazo the Clown, and just did it all. And I can still remember things from KBTM. You talk about getting a sponsor. They sponsored everything on their radio. They even sponsored the holiday death toll. The holiday death toll. Remember on Labor Day or over holidays, there would be a death toll of people, how many people have been killed on the highway. That's awfully gruesome and terrible, but it's what they did. It was the 60s. It's what they did. And KBTM, I swear BTM stood for Bless the Mortuary, because they talked about death all the time. But anyway, they sponsored it. I can still do the sponsor.
Who was it?
The holiday death toll being brought to you by Hogan Winters of Wiener, reminding you to drive carefully and be safe. Our current holiday death toll is 672. Oh, we can do better than that. Why don't you get out there and drive like hell?
Oh my gosh.
That's not part of it.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
That's right. Did you read the obituaries?
Yes, I did do the obituaries. And you would not believe how many people had relatives living in Flint, Michigan. People in Craighead County had relatives in almost every obituary in Flint, Michigan. And then what happens is John Grisham writes the book Painted House, and one of the storylines is a family moves to Flint because of the cars, the car factories.
Okay.
And Northeast Arkansas had a migration. Wow. It's amazing. You all are getting so much.
You're like an encyclopedia of history.
I mean,
that's why I could talk. I knew that I wouldn't have to do much talking, and you could just take it from there.
So you're just coasting. You're phoning it in, aren't you?
Keep going. I'm going to look at my messages. You keep going, Craig.
I'll scroll.
No, things I didn't know about you, and that's what I like about this is we get to know some things that maybe we didn't know about you from back then. And
see,
so KBTM was the first
one.
What was after that?
KARN. They hired me to do nights and play rock music for the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if Olivia Newton-John was rock music, but let's go with it.
Okay.
So from 6 to 10, I played rock music on KRN, back when they played music.
I was going to say they were a news
But they
radio.
went to the news format after I got there. Gee, I'm trying not to take that personally. But no, they went to an all-news format in 75.
Okay.
So, but I stayed with them.
When did you leave then come back?
No, I stayed with, here we go. Now you all.
Another story.
It's coming at you. I know this is coming at Fast and Furious, but now you're sworn to secrecy here, okay? I went into radio sales in 76, and I, what's the word I'm looking for? I sucked. Can we say that on the?
You can say just about anything you want.
Okay. I was terrible because I just was terrible.
It was kind of out of your element, right?
Well,
you were
I made friends, but when it got right to the point where you had to get the signature, and that's kind of where I lost it.
Yeah.
So I just pretty much made money on the side by doing DJ work, and I really never wanted to leave performance.
Yeah.
Now, sales is a performance. Anybody in sales will tell you it is, but I mean performing for people on the radio. So when the late Ron Curtis, who owned KLAZ, was looking for a morning man, they called me, and I left KARN in 78. Never looked back.
Yeah.
But so I was drowning in debt, in low self-esteem, working in sales. I was bombing, and went to KLAZ and loved it. Even when I bombed, I loved it. Because when you're on radio and you bomb, or when you're doing something live or in person in front of people and you bomb, that's part of it. Much like this interview.
No. Well, I'm the one that's bombing here.
Bomb with Tom.
Ooh. Tom the Bomb. I like that better.
Ooh. There's your show right there.
Well, it's just the Tom show.
Oh, okay.
They won't let me change it up.
Okay.
Yeah. After this, it could be the Craig show.
No.
Yeah. KLAZ, but at some point you made a return back to KKYK. Was that
and KLAZ was going on. Now KLAZ was going under because the owner was too fast and furious with his money, his ambition went far ahead of what he actually had in the bank. So they're about to foreclose on him. So I went over to KKYK, was there for almost 10 years, and I made enough money to go to Cafe St. Moritz.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
So
yeah, there's and I'll show this. I have a picture of you and I together from the time that I got to meet you, from 1985, and I think I have it on Facebook. We're going to pull it off of Facebook and show it. It was back.
I had hair.
And I had a mullet. I think you had hair. You had hair and a curly mullet.
You look like a Mississippi State graduate.
Well, I was.
Which you are.
Kind of, sort of there. It's a lot. Perfect, beautiful. 10 years KKYK. You left. You went
to
over
B98.5. Yeah.
Before coming to us.
KKYK was starting to.
Yeah.
It too was having issues. So B98.5 called. They had a revolutionary new format they were going to.
Oh, it was.
Produce on the scene, so there you go.
And then from there, you came to us.
Yep, sports.
Thanks to Ed Buckner. Sports for a few years.
Till 2008. Arkansas got spanked in the Cotton Bowl that year by Missouri, and then we needed Andy Pearson was the male anchor. We needed someone, so they said, Craig, you think you can do it? And I was all into the election. Economics, education, politics in Arkansas, and I went, heck yeah.
Well-rounded.
And there's a prompter.
The kids loved the Razorback locker room. It was carpeted. It was roomy. First, I got them organized.
Y'all want to learn a football play? Well, everybody gather around.
Then I taught them the basics.
What is this?
A football.
You're a genius.
Great. Once that was established, I could advance to more complicated subjects.
Okay, now we're going to learn a football play, and then we're going to go outside and run it on. We're going to run the football play out on the grass. Who wants to do this? Show of hands. Well, this is tougher than I thought. All right. Now, what we're going to do is a play-action pass to try and fool the linebacker into thinking there's a run, and he won't drop back in double coverage, and we'll be able to take the swing man on a play over the middle. The quarterback will fake fade, turn to the left, and throw post. Got it?
Got it. Got
it. All right, let's go. Let's go.
They were fired up. All we needed now was to run the play.
Not everybody can be offense. Somebody's got to be defense.
I am a base.
You're a base? Well, we don't have. Okay, you ready? Shelby, you ready? You say.
Yeah.
What? Fumble. It's a fumble. That's not how that's supposed to go. Maybe bowling would have been good.